Welcome everyone back to Monster Jam on Speed for the special edition of the 2003 season Rewind, as we go back through the 2003 season of a legendary season front that we will see throughout many events throughout the year. I'm your host, Monster Jam 2010, and for his next 3-minute part, we will be seeing some of the venues and events that we went throughout this year. So starting off first, let's start going to the Houston Astrodome for the very last time. Monster Jam was here in Houston, and many big stars were there, including this guy, Tom Meents in the Team Meents truck. As you see here, getting a little bit cross-eyed and a little bit out of control, but he still go there. David Smith ended up on the lid in the racing as well with Return Freestyle. The final round ended up being greater in Team Meents. Let's see what the interviews say before the round starts.
So we're here to finish it up here tonight. This will be our last round in the Astrodome. And you can believe one thing, this old truck right here is going to be drove in the ground, no doubt.
And here is the championship race. Now, Anderson had only knocked over a turning pole already, and look at what happens here. A wild route, a hard hit into the inside of the wall, and ultimately would be how everything went. Here's what the driver said.
Guarantee you one thing, if that old truck will stay underneath me in freestyle, we'll strut our stuff to the end.
I tell you what, if these fans want me to, we're going to come out here and give them one heck of a barn-burning freestyle, if that's what they want.
Well, ultimately, as freestyle got going, Dennis Anderson would not be able to return for freestyle. However, there were so many other trucks on the show, including Raging Steel, and a wild-looking crash ends up happening. There's David Smith in the King Crunch. Again, doing some nice donuts. Scar outside doing a wheelie. But here's a freestyle winner. Tom Meents would actually double down both racing and freestyle as he gets a major time error over the bus. Again, in Team Meents. And a great run to end off. It's run through. And there he is. The man out. Getting a great applause from the crowd. Now we head to our next event in Minneapolis Metrodome here for December, as we have another star-studded field heading to the Metrodome, including that guy, Scott Hartsock, and Lyle Hancock and Blue Thunder. Get some nice air, and just messes up just a little bit, goes to the bus in a different angle and rolls it over. Now Tom Meents out, tries to go for the trash truck, but ends up getting a wheelie and lands on its side. But here is your racing and freestyle winner. Dennis Anderson and Gravedigger would double down again. That's two double downs here. Almost it sends it over a lip, but still able to save it. And there it is, continuing on a wild ride and continuing on. The Icon doing what he's done well. Now our next event is Houston, however not the Astrodome. It's Reliant Stadium. And it's the debut of Maximum Destruction. Tom Meents' new truck for the 2003 season is here. Now, as for how other events went, Jeremy Crean and Marion, nice donut. Scott Hartsock, some more nice wheels and some big, nice air. Getting a great freestyle going. Get up there in the contention. However, Pablo Huffaker in the Gravedigger, always wild man, with score 29. That's not exactly how to do it. He slams into the wall protection, and that would likely cost him the win, as Tom Meents would go and actually win both racing and freestyle and double down here in Houston as our third double down of the year. Now stay tuned, everybody, as we continue on our watch for the rest of the 2003 season. Coming up next. Welcome back, everyone, to Monster Jam here on Speed, as we are continuing the 2003 season Rewind, as we head to our next event here in, well, rather not event, but it's a special monologue of, basically, a new truck, Demolition Man. This is a truck that was built for the 2003 season as for certain events, really for the Wall of Steel crash that we saw Dennis Anderson do in the Mr. Destruction. We also saw guys like Ryan Carson do stuff like that as well. However, the truck was actually used for actual events, including here at Pontiac for Show 2, as you see it taking on Avenger. However, I see Demolition Man spun around the corner. Ultimately, Demolition Man would end up being driven by Bobby Z, who would eventually go into the World Finals to actually drive Spider-Man. So as we continue on, here are the highlights for the rest of its time. head to our next event here. Here is, speaking of Demolition Man, he was here at St. Louis to do the first run through here at St. Louis. As he went through the wall of steel, there's a little tire knocking over a car stack. Medusa continuing on to put on a great run. There's Lyle Hancock, nice donuts as well. Bulldozer doing a nice wheelie, almost sends over, but Guywood is able to save it. And Lyle Hancock ends up setting it on the side on the bus. As you see right now, Dennis Anderson and Lyle Hancock will actually tie for freestyle. And with the 27, look at the ride Anderson gets, twisted up and over, and is able to save it, land back on all fours. What had happened was Anderson had blown 2 rear tires, had broken the rear steer, but continued on as you saw him hit Hancock with the left rear top blown tire. As he does a spin and a pretty much endo twirl in the air, he's able to land it on the roof and land back on all fours for one of the wildest rides in Monster Jam history. You think it was a wild ride? Wait till you hear Dennis's reaction.
No, what? Because I was kind of disappointed he done blocked up the big ramp down there. I said, man, go on and get that mess out of the way. That's major air. He shut off the big bypass, so I went out there first thing, you know, everybody says, oh, you ought to get beadlocks, you ought to get beadlocks. First big bad jump, blam-a-lam, I blew a tire off, and I got beadlocks on it this year. I blew 2 of them off, but that's when I just started driving crazy around the track. Didn't know what I was doing. The rear steer was going one way, I was going the next.
Watch this. I think they're going to show that last move. I mean, you saw the flip on the inside. This is what we saw.
Yeah, that's what it felt like. I tell you that. I sure don't know what it looks like. You guys get the good view. I get a good ride, but y'all get the good view.
Dennis Anderson always managing to pull off some good stuff and even some funny stuff. Now our next event here, we head to Atlanta, where again a major line was set in place, including a big-time upset winner, Steve Reynolds in the Raging Steel for racing. And as freestyle, Mike Waters cannot get it up on the bus, ends up rolling it on the lid, and Medusa not exactly landing it well and rolls it over on the lid. Again, they both would end up getting lower scores overall. And coming up next is this man, Jim Kohler and the Avenger, a great wheelie to start off. Able to continue on up and over the bus. Now, again, this is the newer edition. This is the 57 Chevy Bel Air. So he's able to keep it on going here. As he tries getting it, doesn't exactly work, and it gets on the cars, tips him over, and he's over on the lid. Here's Jimmy's reaction after the freestyle.
Well, I tell you what, I don't care where I'm at, if it's Atlanta, it's Vegas, wherever it is, points is not what I'm worried about, it's the fans.
As we continue back on with the freestyle, Scott Hartsock and Guns are in a nice shop, and now there's Tom Meents, who would tie for the freestyle win. Nice little clearing, and would end up getting on 2 wheels and would sidewall, which is something that I didn't think was possible, at least for 2003, would get back and save it and would score 28. As you see Tom get now, an appreciation of the crowd after an amazing move. However, there was still room for Digger, and Dennis Anderson again clearing it out and going wild and over on the lid. Anderson would get a 28 and tie with Meents for the win here. So after another wild rollover, having to use a 25th anniversary bike, he rolls it over again. Here's what Anderson had to say.
We've been kind of rough and ragged all night, but hey man, at least I'm still here beating and banging here in front of these fans here in Georgia. But you know what, I couldn't do it without United States Hot Rod, Clear Channel Motorsports Entertainment Division. Let's see, we've got Ford trucks. I'm a Chevy man, but Ford footed the bill for us to tear up the stuff in here tonight, and we appreciate that. Thank you, I love you guys, and I'll see you again next year.
Dennis Anderson, always a man of the people. Now coming up next, we're here at the Alamo Dome here in San Antonio, Texas, as we had 2 shows to cover, not 1 but 2 throughout the year. Here's El Toro logo, Lupe Sosa doing some nice donuts. And Lupe will get high in the rankings, but not a win in the freestyle. And there is the new high roller, another second high roller is running this year, being driven, Ron Nelson. Now here's Gary Porter in Gravedigger would sweep both freestyle competitions. He had damage to the roof. Why? Well, right here. Just on the roof and over, broke the front tie rod off. As you see on the replay, Porter went for the bus, so it got cleared, however, landed in such a way it broke the front tie rod, and he just continued to wheelie it and got on the ground on the dirt and skidded on the dirt and rolled over. Again, Digger doing a Digger thing and ending up on the lid. Now, please stay tuned here, folks, as we continue on looking at some of the best highlights from the 2003 season coming up next. Welcome right back to Monster Jam on Speed. As we're continuing looking through the 2003 season, some wild moments as we head to our next event here in the Pontiac Silverdome. Now, the Pontiac Silverdome, one of the most well-known and loved venue, as we see through some of the freestyles. Brian Winston in the newer Inferno truck takes it over on the lid. And here's his wife Kathy in a even newer truck, the brand new for 2003, the Sobe truck, sponsor Sobe truck. Nice wheelie over. There's Medusa. Nice donut. Continue to try and get spun around. But here's your freestyle winner, a surprise freestyle winner, Michael Waters in the Black Stallion. Would end up getting a perfect 30 as he gets the cars, gets on two wheels and over on the lid, and over he goes. As he would go on to win here in Pontiac. Our next show here in Tampa, as you guys can see the up close with the Maximum Destruction. By the way, if you guys are going to a Mosham show, make sure to check out the pit fire before you get here. Tom Mintz would end up winning the racing here in Tampa. And here in freestyle, some more highlights here. Rob Nell would actually end up driving the high roller truck, as Alan Pizzo getting a nice pop up on the wheelie, able to keep going. There's Guy Wood in the bulldozer. Nice wheelie. Just getting on. There's Skylar Sun Guns here, getting some good runs. Here is, with a 29, Tom Mintz with a finish runner-up. The great freestyle run going. As he goes for the bus, gets some big-time air, gets over the bus, and will end up rolling it on the lid. He tried to get out of it, but it wasn't enough. Fire around the front end, it would not work. And here's your freestyle winner, Dennis Anderson in Gravedigger, getting another freestyle win as he goes through the motorhome. And he was going to win here in Tampa. Now, while Monster Jam was here in Tampa, Monster Jam was also in Houston for show 2. 6-truck field ended up going through here. Here in Reliance Stadium. There's the Line X Obsession. Doing a nice donut. Here's Ron Nelson, who would actually again tie for the win, but would not get the win. As he continued on over through the cars, would take him to the big bus. However, didn't quite go to plan as he tries to fight and save it. It does not work though, and he ends up on the lid. Ron Nelson would end up losing on the tiebreaker, as there's another replay of the angle again. Two, as you see in the background there, the Eltar logo, Lupe Sosa, a nice wheelie over the cars. So we come around, Lupe would not only win racing, but also freestyle. And a big reason maybe of why he was able to get into the World Finals Las Vegas this year. Continuing on a donut, I'm going to keep it going. Our next event here is in Minneapolis for show 1, for the show 1 of 2003, year 2003. There's Demolition Man doing a nice job over the cars. Washing again. Now here is Pablo Huffaker, a man himself in Gravedigger, gets up and over the major, basically trash truck, and would end up going over the cars, would end up getting some major air over the stack as he's looking to try and get a donut going. It does not work, and he puts it on the lid, but he's able to win the freestyle as Pablo Huffaker doing his thing to win here in Minneapolis. Don't go anywhere, folks. Monster Jam's still going on here, as we still are going to be looking at other highlights coming up next. Welcome back, everybody, to Monster Jam on Speed. Hello, I'm Monster Jam Fan 710. We're still looking through some of the 2003 season highlights of some of the wildest moments of the year. And as we continue on from our next event here, we're going to take you to the Miami Florida Sun Life Stadium, or as is known then as a Pro Player Stadium, I believe. When I'm going through, now here is Iron Warrior, Trey Myers, getting a nice run through. And Lupe Sosa up and over the bus, almost over, but able to keep it going. Under the cars, Lupe would actually tie for the freestyle win, but would lose on tiebreaker. But as you see, it doesn't matter. Lupe's been having a great presence in Miami, is still doing it. And now, while they were in Miami, Monchim is also in New Orleans here, as you see the Megasaurus, but destroying a car. As here's some of the racing highlights. Neil Elliott would actually win the racing, but did this in freestyle. The nosedive into the ground, a major hit into the ground as things would go. However, the freestyle winner would be Dennis Anderson. Elliott scored 29, Dennis scored a 30. It was short, but it was a major, as check out this jump. Poe goes around and right into the wall protection. Anderson would go on to win the freestyle, but at what cost? The cost? The rest of the season. Anderson suffered multiple injuries and would be out for the rest of the 2003 season. Now, while that happened, Monchim was also in Indianapolis. You will see a third replacement driver, so for grade year 14, throughout the year. There's a Spider-Man. Not exactly like the Spider-Man wanted to cook, but over on the lid, with a broken tire. Dan Evans destroyed, tried the reverse move, but didn't exactly go to plan over on the lid. There's Medusa just getting up and over the box fan. However, did not go well there. It was upside down again. Was on one wheel, rode up the ramp, and it worked. Now here's Lyle Hancock in the Blue Thunder. Nice wheelie all the way down. However, as he turns for a different run at the box fan, gets a weird landing, goes on one wheel and rolls it violently over on the lid. He scored a 27 to finish in third. The reason why, this man, Tom Meents, Maximum Destruction, his essential hometown here in Indianapolis, would go on to win the freestyle in a tiebreaker, as he just couldn't get out of it. It was on two wheels and over on the lid over this man, Gary Porter, and the Granger, who won racing, but would come up short in freestyle through a tiebreaker. We're still not done, folks. We still got one more run to go through here as we're looking through the highlights coming up on Speed. Welcome back to Monster Jam here on Speed. We're looking through the best of the 2003 season, the wildest moments of the year, and we still got a few more to go through here. As we head off to our next stop here, Orlando, Florida, the racing. In controversial fashion, Randy Brown would win the racing. Some say those cars should have won the freestyle racing, but didn't. Here's how it's from Pure Adrenaline. Frank Kreml gets it over the big bus and gets a wild angle up in the air and gets it on the lid. He's able to keep it on it. Randy Brown and Gravedigger talks it over the lid but gives 30. However, there's more controversy in the air about this, because Tom Meents had an amazing run as he left over Dan Evans' truck, pretty much cleared the bus altogether, over the car, over a van stack. Continuing on, Tom would controversially end up getting a 29 instead of a 30. The crowd did not like that at all. The judges were reprimanded for this. And here's what Tom had to say after the run.
I'm not the one driving that truck. The 50,000 people in the seats are the ones that drive it. So the wilder you get, the wilder I'll get. So let's have a good time.
While that was going on in Orlando, Houston had a very interesting show. We're back in the line of saying for show 3. No, that is not Dennis Anderson. That is Ricky Only. One of Dennis's crew members actually went on to win the racing portion in one of the biggest upsets the whole year. Now this is John Cesar in highlights as he would end up going over the bus and then would go on two wheels and not able to save it as he tumps it over on the lid. And again, let's show another angle, roll it over. Now Bulldozer came out, got off the cars kicked him up in the air as he rolled it over very early. Knowing gets scored an 8. And as he linked, and a tough break for Bulldozer. Now, Neil Elliott would end up getting a wild ride and almost over, but saves it. However, he hits the Bobcat and would fall short because of that of a win of a 29th set by Lyle Hancock. Max Construction only got a 26. Ricky Only in a freestyle would slam into the bus, break the steering on the front end. As you can see on the replay, Only got a little out of shape and out of control and slammed the wall. Only would only get scored to 14 as Lyle Hancock would go on to win the freestyle in Houston. Now our last event of today is back in the Metrodome as the last event before the World Finals, all the way now to March. As we have a big time field for this event. Lyle Hancock in the Blue Thunder. There's Jimmy Crean right up and over the garbage truck. Randy Brown almost over on the lid, but still going. Tumps it over the lid right there. However, your racing and freestyle winner would both end up being Tom Ensign Maximum Destruction. Racing over Don Cretin, a surprise in Star Bandit, and freestyle he would tie but win the tiebreaker over Randy Brown and Gravedigger. So that was it for the 2003 season. We hope you guys enjoyed everything as we saw throughout the wildness of the year. And we hope to see more. And we hope to see more of you here at Monster Jam. As if you haven't yet, go check out Monster Jam online and everywhere on social media. And go check out me, Monster Jam Fan 2010, for more content like this. Anyways, guys, we hope you guys enjoyed Monster Jam for the 2003 special. And I guess we'll see you guys next year on Monster Jam on Speed.